Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We have more gaming and PlayStation news, rumours and leaks to go over. If you enjoyed today's video, please show your support by hitting that like button. The next generation of gaming is getting closer and all eyes are on Sony as rumours and leaks start to paint a clearer picture of what we can expect from the PlayStation 6. While nothing has been officially confirmed by Sony yet, credible sources are sharing some exciting details about the console's capabilities, especially in terms of raw performance and visual fidelity. One of the most talked about improvements is ray tracing. If you're not familiar with the term, ray tracing is a technology that allows for more realistic lighting, reflections and shadows within these games. On the PlayStation base model, this feature is already pretty impressive in certain titles, but it's somewhat limited due to hardware constraints. And of course it's better on the PlayStation 5 Pro, but it is still restricted due to hardware constraints. Now that's expected to change dramatically with the PlayStation 6. According to a reliable tech insider from the Broken Silicon podcast, the PlayStation 6 will offer 5 to 10 times the ray tracing performance of the current PlayStation 5. To put that into perspective, that's a bigger leap than what we saw in overall graphics performance when moving from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5. It shows a clear shift in focus for Sony, moving away from just making things look sharper or run faster and instead emphasizing visual realism, lighting and immersive experiences. And when it comes to traditional graphics performance, often referred to as rasterization, the PlayStation 6 is expected to improve by 2 to 3 times over the base PlayStation 5. But interestingly, industry experts suggest that rasterization performance has mostly reached a point of diminishing returns. Modern TVs and monitors can only display so much, and the PlayStation 5 is already able to push many games into the 60 to 80 FPS range with an internal lower image upscaled to 4K. So instead of chasing raw power just for the sake of it, Sony is apparently optimizing the PlayStation 6 for something more practical, which is a 4K gaming experience at a consistent 120 frames per second. And that's a major upgrade for smooth gameplay, especially on the latest TVs that support higher refresh rates. And if they manage to deliver this level of performance for an affordable price for a console launch aimed at being a mass market machine, it would be an extremely attractive deal for console gamers, especially when compared to building a gaming PC with similar specs. Former AMD product manager James Pryor also pointed out that the industry is focused in moving away from brute force rendering and leaning more towards features like ray tracing, AI upscaling and smarter game design. And that's not just marketing talk, it reflects a broader trend in gaming where realism, immersion and technical tricks are becoming just as important as traditional graphics power. It's also worth noting that Sony's strategy seems to differ quite a bit from what Microsoft is doing with its upcoming Xbox, which is rumored to use a more flexible APU design, giving it a PC-like functionality. In contrast, it looks like Sony may be going for a more traditional console experience, which is a plug-and-play, compact form factor, lower energy use and a tight ecosystem. And this could be smart, especially at a time when people are feeling fatigued by $1,000 plus gadgets like new smartphones and GPUs. If these leaks and reports do hold to be true, the PlayStation 6 won't just be more powerful, it will represent a smarter, more efficient approach to gaming. It'll be interesting to see how developers, especially those feeling creatively stuck, use that power to bring fresh ideas. Even iconic creators like Hideo Kojima have talked about the sense of stagnation in gaming where many titles are starting to look and feel the same. A true generational leap might be exactly what's needed to shake things up. Guys, let me know your thoughts on this and let's move on. Now, Silent Hill F is aiming to be different than other Silent Hill games. I don't know how fans of the series are going to take this, but the upcoming title is shaping up to be one of the most unique entries in the long-running Silent Hill franchise, not just because of where it's set or where it takes place, but it's because of how it's changing the gameplay formula. In a recent interview, Al Yang, the game's director, explained why the team decided to lean more heavily into action mechanics for this next installment. The main reason for this was that they didn't want to just repeat Silent Hill 2 again. While that game was widely considered one of the greatest survival horror titles ever made, made. Even the developers felt it was time to move on from trying to recreate the same experience over and over again. Series producer Motoi Okamoto backed this up by saying that the goal was to bring in new players, not just long-time fans. And the reality is, today's gamers, especially the younger ones, are often drawn to games with more dynamic, action-based gameplay. So rather than sticking strictly to the slow, methodical pace that Silent Hill is known for, Silent Hill F will offer more engaging combat elements that still respect the horror roots of the franchise. However, traditional fans of the series shouldn't worry. This doesn't mean the game is turning into a full-blown action shooter. It's more about evolving the gameplay to feel fresh and appealing to a wider audience. The horror atmosphere, puzzles, and story-driven exploration will still be there in the game. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, Silent Hill F will feature 5 different endings and a new Game Plus mode. That means your choices matter, and there's plenty of reason to play through the game multiple times. The new Game Plus mode isn't just a replay, it'll include new bosses and additional story content, giving returning players more to discover. Another major change is the game setting. Silent Hill F is set in a fictional Japanese town during the 1960s, which is a big departure from the series' usual foggy American setting. This new location still carries the eerie, mysterious fog that the series is known for, but with a cultural and historical twist that could bring fresh themes and visual style into play. With Silent Hill F, Konami are aiming to respect the franchise's legacy while also pushing it forward in meaningful ways, and if it works, it could breathe new life into one of gaming's most iconic horror titles. Guys, let me know how you feel about Silent Hill F being more action focused rather than horror focused. Let's move on to a new playable demo on the PlayStation 5. Now, as we get closer to the fall game release window, and it's looking packed, by the way, fall is looking absolutely packed with games. But as we get closer, 2 titles are getting quite a lot of gamers excited on PlayStation 5, both for different reasons. One game is bringing a playable demo to consoles for the very first time, giving players an early look at a new mysterious world. The other game is making the headlines for being the only console to offer a full physical copy of the game. So if you've been following Hell Is Us, you'll know it's one of the more intriguing action-adventure titles coming out this year. The game has been developed by Rogue Factor and it's been published by Nacon. The game has already generated a lot of excitement thanks to its unique setting and focus on player-driven exploration. And now there's some great news for console players. A demo version of the game will be available to download on PlayStation 5 starting August the 12th, so just next week. This isn't the first time a demo for Hell Is Us has been released. PC players got their hands on it earlier this year, but this will mark the first time that console users can step into the dark, surreal world of Hell Is Us. The demo kicks things off right at the beginning of the game. You will play as Remy, the protagonist who enters a war-torn and isolated country filled with supernatural phenomena. You are dropped into the unknown with barely any information, and from there, you'll slowly begin uncovering the story and understanding the mechanics of the game. One thing that still stands out about Hell Is Us is how it avoids traditional hand-holding. You won't see objective markers or glowing waypoints to guide you around. Instead, the game encourages exploration and discovery on your own terms and at your own pace. This is a deliberate design choice aimed at immersing players more deeply into the world and allowing them to find their own path forward. The developers are being clear that this demo is just the very beginning. It's meant to introduce players to the tone and the core systems of the game and not give anything away. Some of the game's best features, such as the broader exploration and the evolving environments, will only start to shine in the full release, which is scheduled for September the 4th of this year. So if you're curious about what Hell Is Us has to offer, or just want to see if the no hand-holding approach works for you, the demo is a perfect opportunity to get a feel of the game without committing to a purchase just yet. So that's the first game. The other game that people are getting excited about, another major title, is taking a very different approach, and it's caught the attention of gamers for its physical release strategy. Cronos: The New Dawn, the latest third-person horror game from Bloober Team, is releasing on multiple platforms this September. But if you're someone who prefers owning a physical copy of your game, you will only be able to do that on PlayStation 5. And that is because PlayStation 5 is the only console that's getting a proper disc version of this game. The developer has teamed up with Skybound Games to distribute the retail version, and it's launching on September the 5th. The physical edition will include not just the game disc, but also a couple of extra little goodies like a sticker set, and it will include exclusive in-game content such as an alternate skin for the main character. All of this will be bundled for the standard retail price of $59.99. Now on the Switch 2, the game will use the controversial game keycard format. These are physical cartridges that don't actually contain any actual game data. Instead, they act like activation keys and simply link you to a download on the Nintendo eShop. That means even if you buy the card at retail, you're still getting a digital-only version. As for Xbox, there won't be any physical version at all. No disc, no box, nothing for collectors or those who prefer tangible media. The decision comes during a time when the preservation of physical games is a concern. Many players are concerned about what happens to digital-only games if servers are shut down. Without a physical copy, there is a real risk that games could disappear completely one day. And this is especially concerning given that even some disc-based releases now ship with only a small portion of the game on that disc, requiring a massive download to actually play the game. Even on PlayStation 5, this has happened with games being ported over from Xbox, with recent games like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle and Doom the Dark Ages, where discs contain just a few megabytes and the rest has to be downloaded. That said, it's important, that said, Sony's data shows that digital sales are becoming more and more popular, with more PlayStation 5 owners choosing downloads over physical discs. Maybe I'll just be there, last man standing, collecting physical media. I don't know. You tell me, guys, physical media or digital? For those who value having a physical library, whether for collection, whether it's for resale or simply peace of mind, in the case of Cronos, The New Dawn, at least Sony is giving those players a chance to buy proper physical editions. So if you're someone who cares about owning your games, the PlayStation 5 version is your only real choice. The game itself is described as a mix of retro futurism and Eastern European brutalism, blending a bleak, mysterious world with technology inspired by a different era. Expect an eerie atmosphere, a gripping story, and plenty of tense survival horror moments. Guys, let me know in the comments, are you downloading the demo, picking up the physical edition, or skipping both? Either way, the full lineup on PlayStation 5 is starting to look pretty impressive. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments about the content discussed today, and I'll catch you on the next video.